If you want more cooperation from your child, you might want to stop copying the crowd, because the crowd doesn't know your child. Once you see this for the truth that it is, you'll never be able to unsee it. Most parenting conflicts happen because parents are following advice that works for someone else's kid. This is what I call the crowd reflex. Imagine you're walking down the street and then all of a sudden you see 100 people come running around the corner at full speed. Would you stop and ask questions, or would you run along with the crowd? Now, I don't know about you, but I'm gonna run along with the crowd. I can ask questions later. I don't know what's around that corner. That's the crowd reflex. Humans are social creatures. So when we are unsure about something, we look around and see what everybody else is doing, thinking to ourselves, if it works for them, it'll work for me too. And that might be true when it comes to 100 people running away from something, but parenting is not about 100 people running away from something. Parenting is a one-on-one relationship. And when you follow the crowd based on a one-on-one relationship, that creates conflict. Here's what many parents don't know. Different children react differently to the same pressures. You could establish the same rule with the same tone of voice, using the same words, and give them the same consequences, but different children will have different reactions. And when their reaction doesn't match what you expected, you assume that the child is the problem. But what if the real problem isn't the child? What if it's the pressure? Now you might be saying to yourself, hold up, are you saying that all parenting advice is wrong? No, I'm saying that there's no simple method that fits every child. That's the difference. When you copy what worked for your friend's kid, you risk applying the wrong pressure to your own. Pressure creates stress, and stress shows up differently for different kids. Some kids resist control. Some kids shut down. Some kids argue. And some kids reluctantly comply until they explode later. The crowd doesn't account for that. But here's where this gets even more important. When you use the wrong parenting approach, your child feels misunderstood. And misunderstood children fight against cooperation. They fight to protect themselves emotionally. This is why you can use the exact same approach as another parent, but get totally different results, because you don't have the same child. Different child, different pressure points. Same advice, but it's the wrong fit. That's misalignment. That's following the crowd. You don't need more tips. You need a map. Tips copy the crowd, but a map understands your child. Let me tell you a story to illustrate this point perfectly. Imagine there's a man on a train with his two sons who are wrestling in the middle of the aisle. Other passengers are annoyed because the dad won't correct them. Everybody assumes that the dad is careless until they hear the truth. The dad just found out that their mom just died. And now all the other passengers have a totally different perspective. The child's behavior stayed the same, but their perspective changed. And that change of perspective caused them to react differently. Perspective changes behavior, and behavior changes outcomes. And the same is true for your child. When you understand the reason behind the behavior, you start to talk to them differently. You feel less frustrated. You have more patience. And most of all, your tone of voice and choice of words become more constructive and less destructive. When you understand your child, instead of copying trends, you stop reacting from survival thinking and start leading with alignment. And alignment makes parenting more peaceful. Not perfect, but more peaceful. So the question isn't which expert is right. No. The real question is what's right for my specific child. If you want to parent with clarity instead of copying trends, then come follow us on School. It's a free community of like-minded, proactive parents just like you. There are tons of tools and support for you and your child, because it's true what they say. It takes a village. This is your invitation to our village. By the way, my name's Devin, and I help parents gain peace of mind by having a customized plan tailored to your specific child. Because when it comes to parenting, there is no one size fits all. And if you want a customized plan tailored to your specific child, then watch this playlist right here.